am the director here at the Houston Center for Contemporary Craft. And I have to say tonight's performance is very special for a couple of reasons. It's the first grant that I helped secure through the Cynthia Woods Mitchell Center for the Arts when I arrived here in Houston, and also it was through Lila Bispo, my first hire after I got here, because she was applying for the position. She greeted you as you came in, and Melissa Noble was one of her references, and she came down and we spoke, and we were able to put this performance on the calendar because at the time it was just an idea that was waiting for funding that Sydney had put together as part of the Tree of Life exhibition. So for me, it's very special to see this come to life and to see all of you here, and I'm really looking forward to the performance tonight. Thank you. I want to just say, while you're here, we do have our Artist in Residence lectures on Saturday at 3 o'clock, so please come back. Purchase a membership that helps support programs like this as well. And I'm just really grateful also for DACAMERA for collaborating with us on this program. So I'm going to actually introduce now Sydney so she can give a few more remarks before we listen to this very wonderful performance.
Thank you, Layla. I'm so excited. Thank you all for joining me. This is the first program of this type that I've ever done. I've been so excited about this exhibition. It's a very personal show for me. I have a background in African art, and I also am an oboe player myself. I will not be performing tonight. But I'm very excited and so grateful to my team, the team at the Cynthia Woods Mitchell, the team here at the Craft Center, the team for DACAMERA. Everybody has been so generous, so enthusiastic, so you're in for a real treat. So that's all I have to say before introducing Ellie Parker, who really has made all of this happen. Thank you, Ellie.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. My name is Dr. Ellie Parker. I'm the Director of Education and Community Initiatives at DACAMERA, a chamber music and jazz organization right here in Houston. And first and foremost, my utmost thanks to everyone here at Houston Center for Contemporary Craft for inviting us into this magnificent space, for collaborating with us with such a tremendous exhibit next door curated by Sydney. It's really, really been a pleasure and a really engaging and creative experience to put this program on that we're incredibly grateful and excited for. If you haven't taken a stroll around the Tree of Life exhibit prior to this concert, I really encourage you to do so after. We have been so inspired by the material itself. It's really clear as I kind of walked around the exhibit and saw all of the different ways that this natural material had been molded and created into something new and extraordinary and beautiful, that it really is the material, it really is the wood, the African blackwood that makes things, that makes things so unique. And that's really been the pinnacle for this concert program. Yes, of course, it's the music, but it's really the materials, right? It's the elements that make sound happen, whether it is a crackling twig, a vibrating reed, two pieces of wood hit together, right? The real catalyst for this musical collection is the material itself. We have 4 pieces for you this evening. All are very different in their style, in their structure, in their shape. Some of them are quite experimental and quite avant-garde. Some of them are quite traditionally notated and curated. Some of them include amplification. Some of them include fixed media, a pre-recorded track that the musician plays along to live. It's a really eclectic mix of musical materials that have been chosen and curated with the DACAMERA young artists themselves. So with that, I'd like to introduce our first artist, Arthur Gilligan, who will tell us a little bit about the first piece.
Thank you all for being here today. So I'll be kicking things off with Child of Tree, a piece by the American composer John Cage, which he wrote back in 1975. Like many of Cage's pieces, it incorporates certain aleatoric elements and other elements that are predetermined by the composer. So Cage says he wants the performer to use 10 instruments in this piece, one of which he says should be an amplified cactus, which was actually a favorite instrument of his. He used it for other pieces aside from this one. Another, he asks that there be a pod rattle. So this is a seed pod from the poinciana tree, and that is the second instrument. And then the remaining 8 he leaves up to the discretion of the composer. He only asks that they not incorporate any animal elements, metallic elements, and that they not be pitched, so they don't have a specific note to them. He also writes in the score he wants the piece to be exactly 8 minutes in duration, so I will be using my cell phone for that. If you see me looking at it, I promise I'm not on Instagram. But as for how that time is divided between the instruments, he asks that that be left up to the coin oracle of I Ching, which is basically a coin toss. So that is what I have done to come up with my score that I have here. The order in which I'll be performing the instruments today was chosen aleatorically based on this coin toss. And so without further ado, here is Child of the Tree by John Cage.
This right here is the clarinet. And most clarinets are made of African blackwood. And because the wood has so much dexterity and density, it's able to make this warm and round sound, but also very compact. So it has a wide range of colors. The piece I'm about to play is the Sonatina for solo clarinet by Miklos Rozsa. He was a Hungarian-American composer who liked to incorporate Hungarian folk themes and songs into his compositions. And he actually spent a large part of his life in Hollywood writing film scores. And in my opinion, this piece has both of those. It has this wide range of dynamic to very serene and quiet, and I think it uses the full capacity of the wood.
Asha Srinivasan. This piece is based on the book Braiding Sweetgrass by Robin Wall Kimmerer. Has anyone ever read the book before? Yeah. It's a really, really great book. I highly recommend it. In the book, the author has these different stories, reflections, and recollections that combine both her studies of botany, she's a scientist, as well as her very deep spiritual sense for the environment and her indigenous heritage. And really beautiful stories in the book. And the piece contains some melodic oboe lines over these ambient nature sounds, and you get some ringing sounds and even you'll hear the sounds of a saw cutting down a tree, along with some spoken text, some of which is directly from the book. And I paired this piece, of course, with the exhibit because, of course, you see an oboe on display in the exhibit over there, which I'll be playing, but also because this piece is about the very wood and the material that it reflects on the African blackwood that the oboe is made of. And the piece is centered on this kind of thoughtfulness and gratitude for the gifts of the earth, which gave us these materials, the hands that create the art, and the instruments that make the music. So I hope you enjoy Braiding by Asha Srinivasan. I could spend a whole day listening. And a whole night. Animating the inanimate. It just came to me in a wash of happiness. The land loves us back.
The final piece that we will be performing in all this evening is by another American minimalist composer, Steve Reich. Reich was a minimalist both in his composing and in the titling of his pieces. Some of his most popular compositions have titles like Drumming, Quartet. This one is called Music for Pieces of Wood. And yeah. This is part of a series of pieces that Reich wrote with the aim of composing music that could be performed using the most simple means possible. And really, the only piece that surpasses this one in that regard is his other popular piece, clapping music, which again is self-explanatory. Reich has said that this is the loudest piece that he has ever composed, even though it does not require amplification. But we are going to restrain ourselves as we're in a small room today. So without further ado, here's music for pieces of wood. Thank you for being here.